All right, what is going on, Flyers fans, and welcome back to the Clear the Ice Flyers postgame program here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network. It's your boy Matty B back on the call, finishing a hectic day of a trifecta. I started out in the morning, and then I sandwiched in between there with the Fighting's final. And here I am wrapping it all up with the Clear the Ice program tonight. Flyers 6-4 winners. Isn't that the way? 6-4 winners tonight over the Canadiens as they break in their new head coach, Bradshaw, in a very positive, fun game. The Flyers were definitely, you could see it in the way they were carrying themselves on the ice, playing with, I don't know if they were playing with reckless abandon, if they were playing with a giant weight off their shoulders, if they were playing with the anchor that was John Tortorella no longer attached to them. Whatever it was, offensively at least, the team had an extra step in their giddy-up. And the tune of 6 goals, they went off on the Canadiens. Now, granted, we got to kind of pump the brakes here. It's the Canadiens. It's the Flyers North, basically. And but the Canadiens have sort of turned the corner a little bit in their franchise. They're not that much further ahead of the Flyers, but they are further ahead. So 6-4 winners tonight. Take that for what it is. I know some of the negative Nellies out there, and I'm one of them. We're going to say this is not what I want right now. I want to continue the losing. And I want to continue it epically as we got to get a better draft pick. But 6-4 tonight, Flyers are the big-time winners. Matt B. Mitchkoff, 3 points, 2 goals, and some funky at the end of the game situation where he had an opportunity for the hat trick on the empty netter, and a fan missed it, stick broke, skate blew, something happened. He didn't score it, but it really didn't matter because the Flyers got the W. Is there concerning efforts? Is there concerning things about this hockey team? Absolutely. Things didn't change that much with the firing of John Tortorella. They didn't get better with losing John Tortorella. The goaltending still remains a mystery. Sam Ersson did not look too comfortable at times in net tonight. 4 goals on 30 shots as the Flyers, they kept pulling away, and it looked like early on at least the Flyers owned the first period of this hockey game. They were coming at the Canadiens in waves. Offensively, and they did score 3 goals. They gave up 1. And then I guess probably the most positive aspect of this game, for me at least, was their play in the second period. They didn't score any goals, but they didn't give any goals up. The Flyers have not played well at all throughout the rest of the entirety of this season in the second period. But tonight, that was not the case, as they were able to hang in there and not score any goals, but not give up any goals. And then the third period, they kind of pushed their lead out. Ersson gave it back. But they kept the Canadiens at arm's length for the most of the night, and 6-4 winners is the outcome for the Flyers. Bradshaw's first win as a Flyer head coach tonight, replacing, of course, the fired John Tortorella. The news came down this morning that Tortorella had been replaced. Now, I don't think Tortorella was fired this morning. It probably happened yesterday, but positivity. 8 games remaining in the season. Is this the time you want to see them start winning? No, I agree, but you got to applaud the effort. It was a competitive effort. They looked like a hockey team, at least for one night. So 6-4 Flyers with the winner. Joe, what's going on, man? How are you? And he says they tried tonight. They did. And as I said, it was the freedom of the way they played, the reckless abandon. It looked like they were skating with literally a weight lifted from them. And take that from what it is. It's kind of always the way, though, when you make a change like that. Bradshaw, probably the conversation to the team prior to this game was probably like, listen, we have 8 games to play. We're out there for each other. We're not out here for John Tortorella. You're not out here for me. You're out here for each other. And let's play that way. Let's finish this thing up strong, and let's not embarrass ourselves. I mean, that's really the bottom line. It's not the Flyers. It's not that they were losing for me. It's the way they were losing. It was just not competitive hockey. But tonight, was really good. And he also says that the Coots line played good tonight. Yeah, and Sean Couturier played good tonight. What do you have, 2 goals on the night? Sean Couturier waiting to the end of the season to make a scoring debut, 13 and 14. Again, if you please show me the film of the first 12 goals that he scored this season. I don't know how he's limped his way to 14 goals, but he's got 14 on the year now. And a 2-goal outburst tonight, along with a power play goal. That's right. The Flyers scored on the power play. It was all hanging out tonight, man. The Flyers were 1 for 4 on the power play. And under their new head coach, Bradshaw, the Flyers are 25% accurate on the power play. take a selfie snapshot of that bad boy and post it up on the internet, because that is definitely a positive thing, as they were again playing pretty loose. Let's not get it all twisted, though. It is what it is. The Flyers are the Flyers. The Canadians are the Canadians. And I'm back in the Clear the Ice seat. First time I've been here in months. I think early February was the last game I did. I think the last game I did, I think the season was still somewhat in question, that they weren't. It hadn't completely fallen apart yet, but it was falling apart. So I took a 6-week hiatus, gave it up to Mike and Sal as they ran it out. But I'm back tonight, and I'll be back on Monday night, along with Mike Laro, to kind of say goodbye to the Clear the Ice for the season. But 6-4 winners. Let's head over to the admin side of it, and let's take care of that admin business. On the night, Flyers and Canadians both ended the night with 30 shots. Flyers were 1 for 4 on the power play, 25% under the new head coach, and they killed off 2 penalties. So almost maybe the best special teams night of the season, as the Flyers did not give up any power play goals, and they scored one of their own. They blocked 17 shots. They still gave the puck away a boatload of times, 16 times, and only took it away 3. In between the pipes for the Flyers tonight, again, things change, but they stay the same, because Sam Ersson struggled. He faced 30 shots, made 26 saves, finishes with a .867 save percentage on the night. That's not doing anything for me. Obviously, you can't expect the Flyers to score 6 goals every time out. That ain't going to happen. As for the Canadians, Dobes, 38 shots of face, 24 saves. He finished with a .800 save percentage. Again, the Flyers and the Canadians are not that far away from each other at all. But it was a good win. I mean, is it a good win? Are we? I hate to say this, but I like them to go and compete. I like them to go out and not embarrass themselves. But right now, the die has been cast. Listen, there's no sense in winning any more hockey games. We need that draft pick. Horrible for Eggins, as we all like to say. But the Flyers get the win tonight. So positivity. Yeah, Mike, how you doing? Good win, Flyers. You gave me hope. Mike, hang on. Hang on there. What kind of hope are they giving you? Hoping that they're going to finish out the season respectively. And if that's the case, I agree, because that's what you want to see. You want to see the team finish competitively. Earlier tonight, before the game, Danny Briere obviously addressing the mass media about the situation with the head coach, alluding a couple times that what happened the other night in Toronto was not the lone reason why John Tortorella was fired. But yes, it was a factor. And yes, it was one of the issues that had been kind of swirling around the head coach over the last few weeks. But Danny B also said, and he said it a couple times, and I put a little post up on the internet when I reposted the actual interview. If you've not seen the interview or the press conference, go ahead over to our Twitter page and check it out. But he said it a couple times in his speech or in his statement that this is rock bottom for the team. And that hit me hard, man. I mean, he's mentioned rebuild oodles amounts of times over the past 2 years or 3 years now. Yeah, 2 years. But he's never said rock bottom. and he mentioned it. He said, we're at rock bottom right now. And that was a stark course of reality that hit me between the eyes. But yeah, 6-4 winners tonight. It was a good game. It was. Big Al checks back in, man. Yeah, he missed the Hattie by this much. I don't know what happened there, man. Yeah, because not only did he miss the open net, did the stick break? I turned away. I actually, you know what? When it was happening, I saw it. And I was like, you know what? That's a goal. There's no way he's going to mess that up. And then I turn around and they're skating back the other way. And then he's skating off and runs down the tunnel. Then he comes back out. Did he blow a blade? Did he blow what happened out there? But Mitchkov does miss the hat trick. But you know what? That's okay, Al, because I want to see Mitchkov get a hat trick the right way with a goalie. And that when that day does happen, and hopefully it's better days in better times for the Flyers, it'll be that much sweeter. Mitchkov played good. He's tied for points now. Yeah, in the race for the Calder trophy, he is tied for the points lead in that race with those great young rookies. Yep, Calder Cup. And Nina checking in. Hello, my love. Hope you're having a good night, babe. All right. So we checked some admin stuff. We window dressed it a little bit. We gave you the goals. We gave you the shots on net. Let's go back to breaking some goals down. I have 10 of these to break down, so bear with me. It's been a long time since I've been here to do this. I'm going to make a college try at breaking 10 goals down for you. So let's get it rolling with goal number. Let's talk scoring summary with goal number 1. It was the Flyers getting things rolling, and it was the aforementioned Matt B. Michkov, his 21st of the year at the 155 mark of the first period. Assists were Konechny and Couturier. Again, Couturier with the 3-point night. Let's pull the bad boy up. As I said, man, it's been 6 weeks since I've done one of these shows. And, of course, every single time when I was doing them throughout the season, I would get these crazy 7-3, 6-4 games. I always got to break down an immense amount of goals, and it's really annoying because I'm the only one that does it. And it's almost like I get penalized for that. But let's break it down. See, now I'm so off practice, I'm actually messing with speeds. All right, here we go. I think I got it. All right, let's go here, and let's do it. All right. All right. And is it up? Yep, it's up. Okay, here we go. Let's pick up the action inside the Canadian zone. Flyers with the puck on the far wall there. You can see over there. Let's follow the puck around the ice, around the half wall, around back of the net. Now, let's kind of stop it here because this is interesting because for some odd reason, again, this is the Canadians, and a lot of these goals are going to be that preference if this is the Canadians. We got a guy that's going to attempt to make a play on the puck behind the net. You got also some over pursuing going on right here. You got a lot of eyes pointed behind the net, especially the goalie. No one's really paying attention to what's happening out front. And that's going to be key as the over pursuit begins to kind of develop even more for the Canadians on this play. Let's stop it here. I've always said to you this as a defenseman or a hockey player, I always try with every fiber of my being to stay away from behind the net. There's no reason for you to go behind the net. What the hell are they going to do with the puck from behind the net? I am more concerned with the traffic out in front of my net. And in this play, I got 4 Canadians that have no clue that Michkov is slipping in unmolested into the slot. Everyone's eyes are pointed behind the net on that puck. No one's caring at all about what's happening out front, to include the damn goalie. So let's kind of let it continue. Couturier does a really good job of getting the loose puck. Then it's a matter of just standardized tic-tac goal. Let's pop it back a little bit because we saw. So here we go. Before we do the tic-tac goal, what do you see? I love breaking this stuff down. I love teaching hockey as I do this. Look at this. I got 3 Canadians converging behind the net on the puck. What are you doing with the puck behind the net? What does it require 3 of you to engage behind the puck? And look who's just chilling. You got Michkov here, and you got this guy. I don't know what he's doing over there. He's even looking behind the net. So nobody on the Montreal Canadiens is carrying a rat's ass about Michkov, and the Flyers are going to execute the beautiful tic-tac goal as Michkov puts it in. Nice little chip shot above the shoulder there for the goal. Flyers up 1-0. It's pretty offensively, but it's a dreadful defensive play by the Montreal Canadiens, and that gives the Flyers the 1-0 lead. And then about 6 or so minutes later, the Canadians would tie it, though. Alex Newhook, his 14th from Savard and Hudson. Hudson's the other player, I believe, going into this game. Is it Logan Hudson? I think it's his name. He was the one holding the points lead, or he was like up there. He had like 5 goals and 48 assists heading into tonight's action as he's pushing for the Calder himself. He's a defenseman. It's his 50th assist tonight. So he's got like 50 assists and 5 goals. It's crazy. But the Canadians do tie it here at 1-1. Let's bring it up. This is just a bad goal on the Flyers' part. There's a little bit of a defensive breakdown that we're going to talk about. Jamie Drysdale kind of left out to dry a little bit on this play, and we'll get into why here in a second. So let's key this bad boy up. That's why I need a producer for this show. Al, if you're listening, I need a producer. All right, here we go. The play is going to come out of this play is coming out of the Canadian zone into neutral ice. Canadians are going to just attempt a straight break in, and then let's kind of stop it here. We got the splits here. I believe that's New Hook with the puck. We got the splits of the Flyer defensive settings. But listen, I'm okay with that as a coach because I got my D right here, and this is Jamie Drysdale. He's supposed to be D'd up, man. He's got one-on-one coverage. There's no trailer, and even there is a trailer out here by the red line, but I got help. My friends are here. So I am focused as a D-man completely on the puck carrier. And as a defenseman in this situation, the one thing you cannot do is get beat off the puck. And let's watch what happens because that's exactly what Jamie Drysdale, he does. He takes a terrible angle, gets crossed up. I don't know what's going on right here. It wasn't like this was Wayne Gretzky making a deke. It was a straight, just standardized pass, and Jamie Drysdale gets turned the hell around. Terrible defense, terrible goaltending, and the Flyers definitely deserve that one. 1-1 at this point. Yeah, that was Alex Newhook. A dreadful defensive effort by Jamie Drysdale on that play, as you could see. Let's pop it back one more time. I like to highlight defensive issues because I was a defenseman, but let's bring it back some more. But again, you gotta take a better. I don't even know. I can't even comment on what Drysdale's doing here. He's going backwards, but then he does a crossover here, and maybe he just crossed himself up and he got caught. And when you're skating on ice, you just can't stop. You gotta sort of turn to stop. You know, if you try to stop, you're gonna take a header over yourself and you're gonna fall. But I don't know what Drysdale was doing here. Terrible defensive play, gets completely turned around. Newhook goes right in, and equally bad goaltending. Erson needs to make that save. I mean, there was no screen. There was nothing. It was just a bad play all around. But the Flyers give up the lead. Now it's 1-1. But the Flyers will get things back in their side at the 10:13 mark of the period number 1 by the goal-scoring machine, Nick DeLorean. That's right. Nick DeLorean, his first of the year from Lexell and Abulse at the 10:13 mark to give the Flyers the lead once again, now 2-1. Let's bring it up. Again, you cannot stop Nick DeLorean. You can only hope to contain him. And he gets loose here, and you don't want that. It's what's resulted to, folks, talking about a Nick DeLorean goal. But let's bring this bad boy up. Right. So we're going to pick up play in the neutral zone, coming across the red line. Again, listen, really good work by the Flyers tonight along the boards. They really, really took the play. They really fought for the play. They're going to come back here, and that's a boost right there, number 18. He's going to beat everybody to the puck. And once again, what do we got? What do we got? What did we just talk about with the Canadians on the first goal? We got this obsession with playing the puck behind the net. You got two defenders now behind the net. Now, you do have positivity on this side because you got this guy D'd up. But still, at one point, somebody, one of these two, probably him, needs to decide, you know what? I don't need to be back here. Let me get back out front where I can be more assistance. But they don't. They all stand around. And then we got, once again, a lot of puck watching. I got two behind the net. I got one watching here. I got one watching there. Nobody watching here. And then good work by the Flyers to maintain possession. There's DeLaurier sneaking, creeping right into the slot. That's what happens when you're puck watching. That's what happens when you stop moving. And that's what happens when you send two players behind the net to try to play the puck. You let the great one himself, Nick DeLaurier, loose in front to get a maximizing goal opportunity. And he does it as he puts it in to make it 2-1 Flyers. And when he scores, you might as well just pack it up, folks. Pack it up and let's go home. Nick DeLaurier scored his first goal of the 2025 season. Flyers up 2-1. And then the Flyers would tack on some insurance at the 11:15 mark. About a minute later, Sean Couturier, his 13th from Matt B. Mitchkoff, his 32nd, and Jacob Peltier, who might be one of the benefactors of the exodus of John Tortorella. Peltier, who was never really, I think, liked by John Tortorella or respected, was a real enigma about his playing time under Tortorella. I would assume he's going to get cut loose now for the next 8 games to try to prove himself because he is an RFA at the end of the year. And so he picks up the assist tonight on the Couturier goal. 3-1 Flyers. Let's bring that one up. There it is. Hey. man. Again, anybody want to be a producer? Anybody want to do this for me? Oh, and let's bring it back here. Wow, this one was all messed up. Let's go. Let's bring it back. All right, so pick up the puck inside the Montreal Canadiens defensive zone or the Flyers offensive zone. Nice setup for the Flyers. This is what I noticed tonight as well. A lot of free movement off the puck, a lot of free movement off the puck, and also a lot of chances being taken with trying to put the puck into a position to score a freaking goal. Something you haven't really seen over the Flyers much of the season. But the Flyers are going to work this thing around. Again, really good puck movement. We're waiting for plays to develop. We're waiting for people to set up, but we're moving and we're scanning and we're not stopping, and we're going to continue to move. Nice little drop pass. We're going to take the little one-timer here as he moves into the slot. I believe this is it's going to go up, bang off, and there's Couturier in front, causing the mass chaos in front of the net as everybody was collapsed down, creating multiple screens at multiple angles. Couturier was able to get in the way and create that goal. 3-1 Flyers at the 11:55 mark of that first period. And that is how the first period would end. Flyers up 3-1 for the period. The Flyers would outshoot the Canadiens by a total of 11-10. Now we move into the second period, the bugaboo period for the Flyers, the bane of their existence so far this season. But the positivity tonight for the Flyers, or the positive thing about the Flyers tonight, no goals allowed. No goals allowed in the second period. They didn't score any, but they did not allow any. They were outshot 8-5 in that second period as they went into the second intermission, still maintaining that 3-1 lead. And then in the third period, all heck fire broke loose as the Canadiens would pull to within 3-2 at the 2:15 mark. Cole Caulfield, that long time ago, could have been a Flyer, but no, we took Cam York. Cole Caulfield, his 34th from Struble and Hudson. Hudson's 51st assist on the year as he picks up multiple points for his chase to the Calder Cup. Make it 3-2. Let's pull that one up. Oh. All right. And once again, I need somebody to. Why is it doing that? All right. Puck coming inside the Flyer zone. Let's play it. We're just going to maintain it. There's Hudson with a nice little pass as the Flyers are going to be caught kind of chasing, looking. Once again, though, but listen, I'll take this. This is okay defense for me. I got a guy behind the net, but once again, I don't care about that guy behind the net. You got Emil Andre. He's in his right spot. His compadre, I believe that's Risto, I want to say, is in his spot. The Flyers have this pretty well defended. But the Canadiens are going to try to cycle it around. They're going to look for the open break. They give and go behind the net. Again, this is an okay play for me, but what we got a problem is we got bad goaltending. And once again, Sam Ersson, you got to make that save, man. Come on, dude. Come on. It's hard enough at this level to win as usual. That's the second gimme goal of the game. You're putting a shot in from behind the net at an angle. Now, granted, you're looking for the bank in, which is exactly what happens here. You just got to be better. We definitely need to find a goaltender, folks. Is there any more concern about that? Or is there any more questions about that? We need a goalie here. 3-2 at this point, Canadiens, but the Flyers would push back out in front and make it 4-2 at the 10:09 mark. Tyson Forster, his 17th, from Nick Seeler, his 13th, and Bobby Brink, his 23rd. Flyers take the 4-2 lead, put a little bit of space in between them and the Canadiens. Let's fire this up. It's good to see these goals by these young guys, especially this line, which, of course, is our only line that we have. And again, that's the positive. That's one of the positives that we can take out of the season. We found a line. We found the third line. So let's bring it up. All right, on the draw, again, another positive thing. The Flyers actually control the play off the draw, and that's something the Flyers have not been able to do for years consistently, but the Flyers are going to win the face-off. It's going to go back. This is what you do. You win the face-off. You try to maintain or put it to the, you want to try to get it behind you, or you want to try to get it to the net. They do win the face-off. Good work there. Get it back to the point. Nick Seeler will wind up with the blast. It's going to kind of ricochet around some people. Forster and Brink both very aggressively going towards the net. The puck pops out loose. Forster then puts it in. Now, there was some controversy. The Canadians actually reviewed this or challenged this goal. And let's bop it back. Why? Because they're going to say that Bobby Brink entered the crease before the puck. But if you can see here, you're going to see a hook, a slash, and then a kind of a cross check that sort of pushes Brink into the crease along with the play. The goal stood. The call was upheld. Matter of fact, the Flyers got a power play off this deal too, I believe. Did they get the power play because of the bad challenge? They did. They got the power play because of by losing the challenge, the Canadians were enforced with a delay game penalty, which gave the Flyers a power play, which will become key here in a few seconds. But at this point now, it's 4-2 Flyers. Forrester with the goal as they pull out the lead a little bit more. And then in the ensuing power play, Sean Couturier, his second of the night, unassisted, his 14th of the year, makes it 5-2 at the 11:43 mark. And let's pull that one up. I always get these long goals and these long games to talk about. All right. So Couturier's second of the night. And play behind the Flyers net. Flyers are going to gain control. It's going to pop out, and it's going to gain right control as Couturier. Beautiful pass, actually. Maybe it's some luck. Those outlet passes, remember how effective they were last year? It's going to set up a 2-on-1 that becomes a 3-on-1. Couturier, Mitch, who's that with him? Is that Konechny? Yep. And then I believe that's Mitchkov behind the play. Couturier is going to do something really, this is what you do in these situations. So I'm going to stop it here. Now, Couturier is looking at the goalie, but then he's going to look the goalie off. He's going to look the goalie off right about there, and he handcuffs the goalie, and boom, you got 5-2. Not the most creative 3-on-1. I probably would have passed myself to try to give Konechny a one-timer, but you know what? It worked. Flyers make it 5-2 to capitalize on the delay of game penalty that the Canadians were enforced because of challenging the previous goal, which they, of course, got wrong. 5-2 at this point, but here come the Canadians at the 13:34 mark of the period. Christian Dvorak is 10th from Anderson, his 11th, and Gallagher is 14th to close the gap to 5-3. And let's bring that up. All right, play is going to come. We're going to follow the play coming outside the Canadian zone. The Flyers give the puck away. They had 16 of those tonight, by the way, and it's still not really working out well. And it's going to also spring the Canadians on some sort of pseudo 2-on-1. Flyers a little bit late behind the play, and let's watch it happen. Dvorak's going to get it. It's a bouncing puck. He does really. That's a pretty goal. You know what? Am I going to blame Ersson for that one? Yeah, of course. But that's a beautiful goal. That's an offensive playmaker right there, going from backhand to forehand, back to backhand to make it 5-3 Flyers. You give the puck away. We've talked about giveaways being a problem this season, more so than they were last year by like almost half, right? The Flyers, I believe, heading into this game were averaging about 16 giveaways a game. Last year, they averaged 5.5. So that's also one of the regression issues the Flyers went through this year, was their inability to control the puck. Now, tonight, for the most part, a pretty clean puck controlling night. They really did well trying to keep things, won a lot of the battles and made really smart plays with the puck and didn't give it away. But in this case, they did 5-3 now. But the Flyers would come right back at the 22nd, like 18 seconds later. Matt Michkov, his 22nd of the night, or 22nd of the night. Yeah, his 22nd of the year to give the Flyers a 6-3 lead. And we're going to play that here, because anytime you want to watch Michkov goal is always good. So let's bring that up. Again, we're going to watch the play coming outside the Flyer zone into center ice. The Canadiens now are going to actually give the puck away here, and you can't give pucks away. That's not a turnover. It's a giveaway. It's going to spring Michkov down the lane, or that's not Michkov. Is that Michkov? No, that's that's Michkov. Michkov's going to come right in. He's going to walk it in, and just go short, not shorthand, but go short side up and beat the goalie badly and make it 6-3 Flyers. And I was feeling really comfortable at this point. 6 minutes left. Even Ersson couldn't cough this one up. Well, about literally 3 minutes later at the 16:47 mark, Patrick Lanai would make it his 18th from Suzuki, his 52nd, and Slavovsky his 28th. I'm not going to show that one. That made it 6-4. Then the Flyers bled the clock down. Michkov with the opportunity at the buzzer with maybe like 20 seconds to go to try to make it 7-4 and get his hat trick. Misses the hat trick, misses the open net somehow, whatever. Flyers hang on to win 6-4. And Bradshaw walks away a winner on his first game of the season as Flyers coach. Flyers are now 29, 36, and 9 on the season for 67 points. Bradshaw is now 1-0 as Flyers interim head coach, as he will finish the season in that role for the Flyers. So good win for the Flyers tonight. Kind of a shaking of the cobwebs type win. Matthew Michkov flying everywhere. I mean, he scored 2, assisted on 1, probably could have scored about 5 more. He was all over the place. Michael says, it's rock bottom for years with the Flyers. You mean you're telling Briere opened his eyes to how bad the Flyers were before he was there and his current tenure? You're telling me he finally has to come to his senses. Mike, I'm not going to hold Danny Briere responsible for what happened prior to him getting here. I can't. I mean, even I can't do that. I mean, an organization that hasn't won a Stanley Cup in 50 plus years. You're right. It's hard to kind of sit up here and say, wow, they finally get it. I get it. I understand where you're coming from. And I do understand the sense, the opinion about John Tortorella at this particular moment in time. I get it. And it's a tough situation. And I think he meant rock bottom to the point where when you have your head coach basically saying, I can't do this anymore. I think that's what he was referring to, was the fact that even a Stanley Cup winning head coach, a man that's been coaching in this league since 1988, just threw up his hands. And that is rock bottom. And for what it's worth, and yes, it's because of the inability and the incompetence and the lack of talent, but it's not like it's self-inflicted at this point. The Flyers have traded away all their valuable assets in an attempt to get better. And sometimes you got to go down to come back up. I know this is coming from me. It's probably one of the weirdest things to hear from me, but there's nothing you can do at this point but go up. There's nothing you can do unless you just stop watching and not care anymore. And I would understand if people felt that way, because the Flyers have been an issue for a very long time. So I don't think Danny B was saying that we were at rock bottom to given a State of the Union. I just think he meant that everything right now of what happened the other night, the comments that were made, was because we were at rock bottom, that things were just so bad. They traded away all their assets. They weren't competitive. It was an exercise in futility, an exercise in negligence. And nobody's feeling good about the way the Flyers have played over the last 2 seasons. Nobody's high-fiving anybody in the locker room because of their performance. They're not. And today Tortorella was fired basically because he just said he could not do it anymore. And it is what it is, I guess. But I feel you, Michael. I'm not making excuses for them. I'm not going to tell you you're wrong to think the way you're thinking. I'm not. I am not. But I kind of understand, I think, what he meant. The Flyers are worse than the Sixers process. Yeah, well, I mean, let's give the Flyers process a little bit longer to work than 2 years. Don't forget, the Sixers process took, 5? Was it 5 years before they got to the playoffs under the process? Flyers have been at it for 2. Officially at it for 2. Let's give it what it is. I'm not saying we got the 5-year window that we got to play with. I don't know if I can go through any more of these seasons. I get you, Michael. I 100% get you. And I don't think the Flyers' plan is to throw out another bad product next year. I mean, we got 2 bona fide first-round draft picks next season. A third one if Edmonton does not defer. The Flyers have potential. Now, winning tonight didn't help them just to get that top 5, but they got a potential at a top 3, top 5 pick. The other 2 picks, the Edmonton and the Colorado pick, they're going to be lower first-round picks. Do they trade them for assets for next season? Do they throw them into a trade to move up to the first pick this year? I don't know what they're going to do with all that stuff. They got cap room. I believe they'll enter the summer with the 5th most cap room in the NHL, which is something that's amazing because they've gotten rid of some dead contracts. And Provorov's deals off the books this year. Am I going to tell you there's a light at the end of the tunnel? I'm not going to tell you that because there isn't right now. There's a lot of speculation, a lot of projection. There's a lot of chance involved. You got the new group of prospects. Some of them are starting to show up. Again, I'm not telling you that we're nearing the end. I think it's quite the opposite. I think we're just still starting out. But I want to see assets gained. I want to see players come here now. I don't want to get rid of any more wholesale. We've gotten rid of everybody that I think we can get rid of right now. I don't think there's any more value. Ristolainen might be a trade in the summer. Maybe ship Drysdale off or something. I don't know. But you got the Risto contract, which is a terrible contract. If you can offload that this summer, that'd be great. If you got someone that'll take Couturier off your hands, maybe, yeah. But for the most part, they've gotten away from a lot of bad deals, a lot of bad contracts that were given out by other regimes. Now, they got a few of their own contracts that Danny B has given out that are not looking too good right now. Owen Tippett's contract's looking like a waste of money right now. He's had a terrible year. But let's see how they do under a new head coach. And again, I don't know what other choice I have other than to let them roll with this, because it hurts me to see this. It hurts me to see a team like the Flyers over the past few weeks lose games 7-2 in like multiple games. It does. But I can't give up on them, and I won't give up on them. I want to see something from them, and I want to remain to be critical of them, because I want to see a Stanley Cup before I die. And I guarantee you, Michael, if they win a cup in the next 5 years, I'll be the Grand Marshal down Broad Street. I'll be the first one walking in front of everybody, doing the mummer strut down Broad Street, because it's going to feel so great that when that day comes for this hockey team. And I hope to God that I still have all my senses, that I'm mobile when it happens, and that I'm young enough to enjoy it. But I feel you, man. I do. I feel you. We'll start hockey that as a free agent wants to play for the Flyers. The problem is the free agent process for 25 is not looking very good for the Flyers, because there's some talent. There's a lot of talent actually, but they're all older talent. You got guys in their 30s. I don't want them. I don't think the Flyers want them. So I'm not saying that the Flyers are going to create a Stanley Cup champion this year in free agency. They're not. Moving forward, they might. You're right. You got to show something in order to get something. You're absolutely right. But I think they'll go out and they'll address a goaltender in free agency. I think they'll sign a veteran. They'll bridge a gap between that guy and Bjornsson and Zarajin, who are the next two in the chute to get a shot at this. Urson will probably battle this summer for the backup job, maybe against Bjornsson. See if Bjornsson wins that job. Who knows? But Urson's going to have to battle for that backup position. I definitely think they're going to sign a goalie. They have to. There's just no way we can go through another season like this. We need a goaltender. They'll hopefully add some players who trades. Some prospects will get here. I mean, the team will look different than the product that's out there right now. I guarantee you that. They have to. We're at rock bottom. There's nowhere else to go but up. So, but I get you, Michael. I'm not discrediting what you're saying, but anyway, 6-4 Flyers with the win. And they start off the post-John Tortorella era with a positive thing, unless, of course, you're looking for the tank and you want the draft pick, which, of course, that's what I'm looking for. But you got to love to compete. You got to love the fight. Michkov went off tonight, skating around like it was his first game of the season, man. He was a bundle of energy. But it was good to see. Remember here on the It's a Wrap Sports Network that after tonight, I'm taking a break. You're not going to see me for a couple of days. I'll be back on Sunday with Big Al for the for the Fightins final, and then the final word on Sunday night. But tomorrow we don't think we have anything tomorrow. Wow, nothing tomorrow. But Saturday we're back at it in full swing. Mike Laro will have you Phillies post game, and on the Clear the Ice program on Saturday, Sal G has you for the Buffalo Sabre game. And then on Sunday or Monday, the 31st, me and Mike Laro will finish it up against the Predators as we finish our Clear the Ice programming for the season, and kind of focus in on the Phillies. Well, they better get a goalie, but how about a better defenseman to help the goalie? Yeah, again, you're right. I'm not the defense has been probably. We knew going into the season the defense was not going to be that good. I just thought, I personally thought that there was enough I saw last year that gave me some hope that a lot of players would take that next step. Obviously Cam York is like number one disappointment of all year. He was terrible. Now, how much of that was John Tortorella, right? How much of that was the John Tortorella effect? Is Cam York's game turn around because he doesn't have to worry about the specter of Tortorella hanging over him anymore? I don't know. Or is Cam York done enough to get traded, which may be the case as well. Jamie Drysdale has not panned out. And let's face it, we gave him a pass last year because of the injury, and he was hurt, came over in January and whatnot. But he's had a relatively healthy full season and has been completely nothing. Minimal offense, terrible defense. Travis Sanheim is another one of those bad contracts. I keep on forgetting about Sanheim's bad contract. So if they could move him too, that would be great. You're right. The defense is not looking too good. Oliver Bonk is on his way. Oliver Bonk should give that defense a shot in the arm if in fact he gets here next season. And there's some trade targets. There is some defenseman free agents out there. Again, I don't expect the defense to look like this next year. I don't. And I think some decisions are going to be made in reference to Cam York, and reference to Jamie Drysdale, and reference to Risto Ristolainen this summer. And maybe we move on from all or some of those players. So Michael, you're not going to get an argument out of me, man. I agree with you. We are at rock bottom, as Danny B said. We are rock bottom, and that's coming from the general manager's mouth. So anyway, that is going to do for me. Busy day, busy night on the network. Loved every minute of it. Got thrown the curveball this morning with the firing of John Tortorella, but I was happy to come on and do the emergency podcast with Frankie James. So I want to thank Frankie once again for coming on with me this morning. Awesome Fightins final with Sal to kick off the Philly season. 7-3 winners in 10 innings, by the way. And then the Flyers tonight, 6-4 winners over the Canadiens as they start the post-John Tortorella era out with a bang. Don't forget the post-game stuff that we got coming up and all the other great programming here on the network. My show, Sundays through Thursday. If I don't have a post-game, if I have a post-game on any of those nights, Sunday, Thursday, I will not be doing at night. I will not be doing my show. The Wraparound's got a new home, a new face of the show. The Wraparound Sal G will be moving to Wednesdays at 6 with Pat Bernard as your special permanent semi-guest host. So he'll take over the reins of the Wraparound Sal G for the time being. And then our brand new show premieres next Thursday at 9 p.m. The Attacking Third. If you're into, if Union Soccer is your thing, then the Attacking Third is for you. Make sure you check them all out. And all the great things and all the great work. Special shout out to Big Al Zafiri for all the work he's done over the last few weeks to get this network kind of pushed in the right direction. I owe you a big one. You know that, Al, and thank you from the bottom of my heart. And thank you for all the people that make this network what it is, to include the contributors. It doesn't go anywhere without you. I appreciate it. Keep it coming. Spread the word. Share it out. Tell people about us. We're growing. 2 new shows. We're 1 show. We got Pat Bernard taking the Wraparound with Sal G, and then we got another show coming. So we're our first growth spurt as a network is ongoing, and I'm glad you're here with me. So until we talk again, in the words of the late great Gene Hart, good night and good hockey.